What's up, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Inside View. My name is Jason Underberg, and of course, I'm here with Mr. Brian Kovner.
What's going on, everybody?
Today we're
Big day today.
today we're feeling like we're gonna get a little bit of a workout on here. I don't know. We've got a really exciting guest today, someone who's a pioneer and really an evolution of fitness. So I don't think we should waste too much time here. I think we should just bring him on, and we're gonna meet David Pereira from Phoenix. David, welcome to the show.
Gentlemen, thank you so much. Thank you so much for having me here.
Yeah,
appreciate it.
Great to have you, man.
Yeah.
So Brian and I love to work out.
Yeah.
So we're the right guys to be talking to today. So this is actually a conversation that should be pretty enjoyable.
Easy.
Easy
to see it as easy.
So kick us off. Tell us a little about about yourself and kind of how Phoenix came to be.
Yeah. So myself, my name is David Pereira. Been training for about 12, 13 years at this point. I started off training back when I was in college, like every other college kid who needs to work. It was the best thing that was suitable for my schedule, right? So it allowed me to work in between classes, especially anybody who's ever been like a science major, and you take so many classes and so many labs.
That was your major, science?
Yeah, science. So I was going to school to be a PA, a physician's assistant. That was like my dream job, right? I was practicing medicine in the military. So my goal was to go this route so I can stay in the military and just kind of perform at a higher level in terms of my medical practices and medical training. So this is where my head was when I came back home. So I started training, fell kind of love with it because I personally enjoyed it.
Sure.
And I kind of like found my niche. I was like the military guy who got a lot of results, had a different level of experience at a very young age.
Yeah.
So I found myself able to connect to much mature, much more successful clients. And I'm talking about like high performers, people who are very, I guess motivated about what they want to do and when they set their mind to it. Fitness just wasn't something that they were really good at. So I was able to kind of get the best out of them. And when I was getting that kind of gratification that I got while performing medicine or practicing medicine, shall I say, I kind of liked it. I was like, I can cause good change. I can have this ripple effect within my community and my clients. And it started to turn.
When you say they weren't good, was that because they were hitting a plateau, they weren't getting results, or they just weren't good at staying regimented?
Well, you think about it in the realm of people who are very motivated for their career and their line of work. One thing that they end up sacrificing a lot of times is themselves, right? So their health goes by the wayside. Their time for themselves almost seems selfish, right? So before you know it, I'm dealing with a C-suite executive who's in their 40s, and they've gained a bunch of weight. They don't look like who they used to look like 20 years ago. Yeah. And now you have this high performer where people are like, but you're good at everything, right? Or you're good at this X thing, right? And yet when it applies to fitness or nutrition, not so much, because you put yourself on the back burner for so long, or you've compromised yourself for your goals. And listen, we all have priorities, and they change over time.
Sure.
So what would I expect if I was, a guy coming to you? Mm-hmm. What would I expect to come to Phoenix versus going into either a regular gym or personal classes or even just a one-on-one training session at my house? Mm-hmm. What's the difference of, the philosophy and the methodology?
So at Phoenix, we specialize in 30-minute training sessions specifically. Like I said, we do have a lot of people with busier schedules or need to commute a lot of times, and we specialize with fitting into your lifestyle, right? We see with the hour, it's a lot harder to commit, right? One, from a monetary standpoint, it just costs so much. And to ever move that session, or if you miss that session, it's like a good chunk of your week of fitness, especially somebody who has a tight schedule, already missed, right?
Right.
That's 30-minute session.
30 minutes.
How many days a week are you?
Well, we have clients training anywhere from 3 to 6 times a week, right? Whereas if I said, hey, I'm going to need you at least 3 hours a week, maybe 4 hours a week, you're like, that's a lot, right? Like that might be a lot for somebody who's busy. You think about commute time before, you think about commute time after, shower or anything like that. Like, you got 3 hours out of your day gone, right? Sure. 4 times a week. That adds up, especially to the busier person.
Without a doubt. Yeah. And most of us, let's be honest, we don't have that kind of time today.
100%, right? So there's a level of like, can we be efficient? Can we be effective in those 30 minutes? So 30 minutes is what we specialize in. Then the programming within that 30-minute training session.
So it's pretty high output, I would imagine.
It is pretty high up it relative to that client's needs, wants, and goals, of course. And then there's a level of like the trainer being able to curate that program over the long term, right? It's not a level of, beat the shit out of you every time you come in. It's like, how can I keep you here for 4 or 5, maybe 6 years, 7 years? Like there's a longevity aspect.
So it's all customized. No two of your clients are going to get the same experience more than likely because it's based on their body type, on their experience.
100%, right? Very much curated to that client.
Sure.
And that's the personal side of personal training, right? It needs to be that. If you come in or go into another gym and you see that you end up doing the same workout the person did before you, we might need to talk about that, right? We might need to see that, because unless it's, someone has the same exact goals as you, it doesn't make sense to take the same way to get there.
Sure.
Right?
So how much of a role do you play on nutrition as far as with your clients and their needs? Are you putting them on diet plans? And
that's a good question.
Yes,
yeah,
we play a big role, right? Like in the sense of like, when clients step into it, they definitely want to optimize their fitness and their health, right? There's a level of not knowing what you don't know, right?
Right.
And because the industry of nutrition is so all over the place, it becomes reverse education, right? Like just being able to educate our clients on what are fads, what are actually things that work for you, what are things that are sustainable over the long term. And you can't, get the most out of somebody's progress and goals if you don't talk about the big picture, right? So it's not what you do with me in the half-hour session. It's what you do the other 23 and a half hours when you're outside the walls.
Your sleep patterns, your eating.
100%. So it's all encompassing. I like to say we start with the most limiting factor first, right? So if you come in and you're a busy exec or you're a busy mom and you're really only sleeping 4 hours a day, well, why would I talk about nutrition with you yet if we can't fix your sleep first, right? If you do that, that's more stress to the system. And as a trainer, you're supposed to remove stress in many ways, right? Although it's a controlled version of it when you're working out, you're supposed to be able to optimize this person's life, not make it harder, right? Not give, Debbie a menu to follow when she's got, 10 meetings, 2 social events, grandkids, things like that.
Yeah, it's going to be an hour of prep time for your meal too, probably.
Yeah, right.
It takes so much longer and harder to eat healthy sometimes. That's the irony,
100%. But it's like anything else, right? Once you find your system and you're not too restrictive on anything, and you understand how to balance that with, being social or events and stuff like that, it becomes your normal version of life, right? So I do a lot of things where I start to talk about and equate everything to finances, right? A lot of successful people, believe it or not, understands dollars and cents. But when we start to talk about nutrition, not so much, right? It's a new language for them to understand.
How do you connect to that? How do you correlate finance to nutrition?
Budget, right? Everybody understands a budget. You can't spend more.
Eating good is expensive.
Well,
wait, you mean your calorie output for the day is your budget? You want to stay under, obviously you want to stay under your budget?
100%, right? So
all about caloric intake,
and that's
for the most part.
That's the absolute logic behind it, right? It is about calories, right? In a way, right? Calories in, calories out,
right?
To an extent. Everybody who's the same size, same body type won't burn the same amount, therefore won't need the same amount. However, it's how do I get you within your lifestyle to live within a certain budget? Also, how do I teach you how to go out while having that budget, right? The same way like your financial advisor or accountant will be like, no more 3 days a week. Maybe you go out once a week, right? And you're like, damn, I got to do that. So that's just like the simple way of putting it. Once you start talking about it that way, unless you're really, really, really in self-destructive mode, you can't argue with the logic behind it. And if you're very much a alpha person and a person who's understands that, then it makes it easier to adhere to and, kind of adopt into this new way of doing it.
Yeah. So what I'd like to do is give our viewers some tips, right? Some little tricks out of your bag here, just so you can leave them with some good inspiration. But before we do that, I'm gonna give you a chance to think about that. Wondering how strong you really are. I mean, my 2.5-year-old daughter tells me that I'm super strong and I have big muscles. So. I just.
Well, what's her brother? What is she comparing it to?
Yeah, literally what she controls.
So I think we should do a little push off here.
Oh, okay.
I think we should just kind of have you, count it out.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see if we can keep up.
Okay. We need to talk about standards first.
Well, I was gonna say because a lot of times I've seen him do push-ups, and
he's gonna mock my form now. See,
I think form is important.
All right. Well,
I mean, if you're low to the ground, you're barely elevating your elbows. It's not even a push-up.
Yeah, so I don't want to see a good push-up, and then by rep 10,
see a bad one.
It looks like jailhouse style.
All right, so I got a better.
So quality, not quantity.
So how about
Both, actually.
How about this? So how about we do this? It's gonna be hard for you to watch the push-ups while you're actually doing the push-ups. How about we start with Brian and I will do a push-up off. Okay, we're gonna trust your style.
Okay.
You're gonna count us out and make sure that we both adhere to the right form.
Got it.
And then you're gonna just try to beat the highest number of whoever tops it.
Okay.
Does that sound like a plan?
That sounds like
Let's
a plan.
do it.
Just full disclosure, I did heavy paddleboarding.
Here we go. Here we go.
My arms are a little
He's
sore,
already
but-
saying he's got a cut over here.
Paddleboarding.
Oh, paddleboarding.
Which you're going against the current.
That's tough.
That's
Full disclosure,
all
I
arms.
did shit this morning, so I'm pretty weak today, and I sleep about 6 hours an evening.
That's true. He's got a newborn at home, so yeah, he beats me on the sleeping.
Well, let's see.
All right.
I'm going to fall forward into my push-up, my chest touches, and I press back up. So if I'm here and I'm resting, you can see that my hips are clearly off the ground, so it's a push-up. It is not one of these like yoga things that's going on. All right, so chest to the floor, lock out at the top.
Okay.
All right,
Sounds
pretty
good.
simple.
Yeah.
All right, so who's going first?
I think we're gonna do it at the same
Same time? All right, here we go. So then you got to go to my count. I'll say
good.
down, and then you guys will count for the viewers. It's just so they know who makes it further, and then you'll just say one at the top. Okay. So down is your cue to go down, touch your chest. At the top, you say the number.
No stretching.
Anybody need to warm up? Anybody good? I mean,
normally you probably should warm up
Just
and
do a
stretch a
couple
little
of
bit.
these.
I don't think that this is the right.
2, 3, 4,
Yeah, we're not setting a good
6,
example.
7, 8,
You're
9. I'm warm,
Some
baby.
arm circles.
Yeah,
I like
I think
to
you're
always.
I'm ready.
Or ice cold, but okay.
that's all right. Here we go. Let's go. Hands down. All right, let's take a look. Down.
1,
Down.
2,
Down.
3.
Down.
I gotta go faster.
Down. 7, 8, 9, get to my hand, 10, 11, 12, get there, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, good, 19, lock it out, 20, 21, 22, all the way up, 23, 24, get to my hand, crazy, 5, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30,
Ready?
31, 30, 32, 30. I can't count now.
34.
Yeah, you count
35. 36. 37.
There you go.
38.
There you go.
39.
Keep
40.
going all the way up.
Oh,
What?
lock out that elbow.
You hear what he
You're
said?
not locking.
I get
Here
it.
he's already complaining.
Lock it out.
Come on, keep going.
40.
Oh, you're not doing the right form.
Get down. 43. 44. 45. 46.
Brian's gonna be sore tomorrow.
47.
He's not even going all the way up.
Get up. 48. Oh, he's on 49.
50 clean.
Oh, that's 50.
That's 50 clean.
Wow. You guys are
That's
good.
pretty impressive, right?
Yeah.
Not bad, yeah.
Good job. Harold's gonna talk.
Here's the difference. He's out of breath.
Yeah. Well,
But here's the difference. You're gonna go back and look at the form. I actually elevated.
You saw my
Hey,
form.
hey, we're gonna see what the viewers.
Well, we'll let
say.
the
My
viewers
form,
decide,
my form looked good.
Yeah.
All right, Dave, show us up.
Yeah, he's gonna do 50 like nothing.
Oh, stop it!
I don't know if I can do 50.
I think you can do 50.
Do you need us to?
I'm gonna count it off. I'm gonna count it off for you.
Do you
Ready?
need a marker for your chest?
Here
Or?
we go.
Nah, I got this.
On my mark. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7,
Wow.
8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 20. 1, 2,
That's 4.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 30. Come on, baby. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We're a lot lighter than you. 9,
Yeah,
10. That's
10 are
40.
gonna burn. Yeah.
Woo! Reset, reset.
Yeah, those last 10 always burn.
10.
I'm gonna do 11. You ready?
Ready?
Here we go.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7,
Oh, come on, 4 more.
8, 9.
You might have worked out, a couple times already before today.
10.
There we go.
One more to show us up.
Go. You can't let us beat you.
Yeah.
All right.
I did chest this morning.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, I'm sure it ain't
I'm
first time.
Woo! Feeling good.
Got my legs sweating.
Can you get a good workout if you just do like body weights, pull-ups, push-ups every day? Like if you do the traditional jailhouse workout, is that enough to?
Well, I definitely think that you can get a effective workout, right?
But eventually,
Self-resistance.
yeah. But then you got to start talking about your goals. If you're like, I want to be chiseled and be all these things, like.
Push-ups ain't gonna do
Is it
You
possible?
might need to put some weight in your
Because
hands.
I know for me, and I know if anyone else struggles with this, I can't put on weight. So it's like, can you train for bulk and get ripped at the same time, or is it just one track or the other? You got to figure out: are you trying to get mass, which would mean you would up your caloric intake, or you just want to get shredded?
Well, if you're already like very lean and you're like, I want to put on weight from here, like
It's
this
so
point,
hard, yeah.
It's very hard because you got to be very specific about
what
like
you
your
eat, how often
calories.
you eat, yeah.
Yeah, relative to saying
I like this. Everybody's a little out of breath right now. This is
Relative to
This is
saying-
real, yeah.
This is good.
relative to saying like, oh, okay, like I definitely need to get up, 5 pounds. So I'm going to go all the way up as 12 or 15 and then come back down, right? So that might be a little bit more palatable for some people because if they can eat, they will eat. They can increase their weight, increase their size and their numbers in terms of strength, and then diet back down into a more lean version of themselves.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So it all depends, honestly, what your goal is and what trajectory you want to take.
So leave us with some good tips and some tricks here. Some things that are just like fresh from Phoenix, stuff that's you just can't Google, that maybe you have some insights on, whether it's
Or
related to your diet or whether
myths,
it's related
like
to
dispel,
workout.
like
Yeah, or
think
things to
everybody
stay away
thinks
from, myths.
this is true and it's actually not true.
So one of the big things that we always have to dispel is like, if anybody uses MyFitnessPal, right? Yeah, you guys familiar with that?
Heard of
I've
that.
used the app,
Thing
right?
that tracks your calories.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's a whole.
It tracks your calories and everything throughout the day, but you could also log your exercise and your workouts. And people tend to eat back those calories that MyFitnessPal says you're in a deficit of, which you definitely don't want to do. So because you logged your workout and it says that you burned 300 calories, MyFitnessPal gives you back a certain amount of calories, and people are like, oh, okay, let me go ahead and
Interesting.
have those. And then you're like,
That's interesting.
that throws off your deficit, right?
Okay.
Per se. So that's one thing that we always have to tell someone is just like, you don't necessarily eat back those calories, plus the accuracy of like one of your logged workouts doesn't really suffice.
Are they accurate? Like I use my Apple Watch for training.
Apple Watch is accurate for what?
To say that I burned 300, 400, am I really burning
How
hundreds
does
of
it know that?
calories?
Based on your heart rate? I mean,
Based on your
It
weight.
can get an educated guess, but I don't think it's...
Yeah, I don't know the exact science behind how Apple does it. I have an Apple and a WHOOP, which is more of a physiological data tracker, right? So it does your sleep, it does your stress throughout the day, and it does your recovery overnight, and it also does your calorie expenditure. The good thing about this is because it checks your stress level as a whole, right? So the next thing that I was going to go into is your step count. You don't have to do 10,000 steps to become a more healthier version of you. You probably have to do more than what you're just doing already, right? So if the person was doing 2,000, obviously 10,000 seems like a lot. So just do more than what you're doing.
You're doing 2,000. I'm going to need you to do 8 times that by tomorrow.
100%, right? Because like
Walk around your living room.
Don't come back and see me until you
high
do.
knees to chest. But all steps aren't the same, right? Like if you
True.
walk to work and you have a very hilly journey as opposed to somebody who like walks throughout the city, right? It's a little bit different. I mean, the city's kind of like aggressive walking, but you get the point, right?
Elevated, yeah.
Exactly, right? There's a little elevation, so the stress level to those steps are a little bit different, right? We have different factors to that. So those step counts, although they're a good starting point and or a point to have of relevance,
They have a lot of variables.
they have a lot of variables. So I would say like anybody who is trying to track steps, more sometimes is better. More frequently is sometimes better too. Instead of saying, I need to do an hour cardio and you crush all that walking throughout the day in an hour and then you never move again for like the 23 and a half hours or 23 hours, excuse me. It's like, are you really living an active lifestyle or you're just trying to fit it all in? All right, so those are two things I would say about that.
How about, I mean, does it matter? I read stories. You should work out in the morning, at evening. It's better to do this time of the day.
Yeah,
does
full
that
stomach, empty stomach.
Yeah, you sleep better if you work out at night, but you get a better workout in the morning.
I like to smoke weed before I work out.
Maybe you should,
I
like to.
Arnold Schwarzenegger did that shit. He wrote a whole book about it.
I like to work out early in the morning because I intermittent fast, so I feel like I get a better workout with nothing in my system. I feel like if I eat and then I go to the gym, I have a less.
Yeah.
Agreed.
So I'm glad you brought that up, the idea of intermittent fasting, right? So intermittent fasting works because it works for your schedule, right? Kind of like your lifestyle, right?
True.
Right, and that's where you are best suited to eat those meals within a certain time window, which allow you to feel more efficient throughout your day and less neurotic about when do I eat and what do I eat.
True.
Right, you know exactly what you're gonna have in that 8, 12, 10 hour, window. So in terms of eating on an empty stomach or a full stomach,
or working out on empty,
and stuff like that. I mean, working out on an empty stomach or a full stomach, it's just like, what's best for your lifestyle? I'm sure everybody has worked out on both. Which one of those workouts feel better to you?
So it's a personal preference.
Exactly. Which one of those things are that you can do more consistently?
Okay.
Now, if you go and like, oh, I need to scarf down this meal, right, and it's a heavy meal, and then you got to hit the gym in an hour, you're probably not going to have as efficient of a workout because digestion coupled with
you're going to feel
sluggish.
Your
blood's going elsewhere, right?
Yeah.
That's where people feel the nausea and everything. Same rules apply to the evening, right? Like, should I work out before? Well, I mean, or in the evening. Some people might say, yes, I get a better workout in the evening, but we might have to have that conversation that you might interfere or have some interference with your actual sleep, right? Because it'll take your body time to actually unwind, right?
True.
And go back to like a real level of homeostasis, not like kind of like the sympathetic, parasympathetic version of yourself because you're working out, right? So you have to kind of take that into effect when you're like, what time should I work out? There's clearly some effect depending on how far you stretch that out into your evening. But if you're like, oh, I don't have to wake up till noon tomorrow, well, yeah, crush an 8 p.m. workout, then it doesn't matter, right? So again, it's all lifestyle specific. Now, if you come at that with this dogmatic or cookie cutter approach, then you can be in deep trouble, right? If you came to me and I was like, everybody needs to intermittent fast, right? Or everybody needs to do keto, or everybody needs to do this, you might have a problem, right? So when it comes to like the realm of personal training and nutrition coaching and consulting people on certain things, like you have to kind of question like what this information is telling me. Not to say be a skeptic, but is it someone else's personal preference, or is it something that will help me in my lifestyle?
Yeah, makes total sense. So Dave, are you accepting new clients as of right now?
Yes.
Wonderful.
Phoenix is definitely accepting new clients.
Phoenix, and you're single, aren't you?
Yes.
All right. So he's accepting new clients, and ladies that are watching, he's also single.
Yes.
And trainers too, right? What if somebody is?
Oh yeah, and if you're a personal trainer and you're out there, you've had a personal training experience. He's looking for trainers because they are growing quickly. Dave, this was awesome. I mean, we learned a lot. I think that the people watching are probably going to want to know more.
Well, we've been there. I mean, I'm telling you, as soon as you come out of the elevator in Phoenix, your jaw. It's an experience.
It's an awesome place to be. It's a place where if I lived in that area, I'd be working out.
I would, yeah. Unfortunately, I go to a gym now, which has turned to like the internet cafe. People just go to the gym and sit on their phone all day and like look at Instagram and TikTok. I don't know what that's all about.
Got a strong Wi-Fi signal.
Luckily, I have a tonal.
And he has a home gym, so yeah.
And I love the tonal.
Yeah, no, tonal's a great asset to have.
No complaints.
But you get the same. You don't think it's better if you have somebody pushing you?
I have trainers that are on the videos if I feel like doing the instructions.
That's true.
They put their hand on the floor for you.
Yeah, that's the thing. Are they coming through the screen?
They won't do that. At home, I could do like 70 push-ups.
Yeah, it's weird.
But definitely check it out. Phoenix Englewood. Would highly recommend.
Absolutely. Stop by, make an appointment. We'll put the information in the link below. And for everybody watching, thanks for
man.
Glad you came. It's a pleasure. Thanks for tuning in. And don't forget, it's all about the view.
We'll see you next time.